Is that better? Yes. Now you can hear me? Okay. All right. Well, Clint, hand me my clipboard behind you, please. I can't do this without my clipboard. Thank you. Oh, yeah, right here it says, welcome new attendees. So who's here for the first time? Or who is here for the first time in a long time? Anybody? Oh, we got a couple. Sorry, Clint, I got to move. Let's start right here.
This is Sylvia. I'm KC7KQY.
Pass it back.
Stop recording.
Thank you, Sylvia. Who else we got? Over here.
My name is Jim Benton, KS7KMZ, and I found out I haven't been signed up since 2018. I thought it was about time I come back.
Yeah, it's about time. We've been watching for you. Who else do we have? Oh, over there. Okay, I'm going this way. Trying to avoid Clint's camera. Oh, he caught me.
Hello, I'm Rob, AL7AW, and I've missed a couple of field days, but I decided to try to catch up on this one.
You are saying the right thing. Anybody else? Do we have any new licensees? No? Okay, we have about 5 upgrades, right? No? Sylvia, are you newly licensed?
I just got my general.
Sylvia just got her general. All right, good.
Where?
What frequency?
I haven't gotten an HF yet, so working on it.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you. And congratulations. Okay, let's see. James and Mike, what are we doing for classes?
Well, me and Mike are still doing technician classes. We're about halfway through our current set we have going on. We do them over Zoom. If you're interested, shoot Mike an email at ki7mti@arrl.net, and we'll get you into that, or if you know somebody that needs to get their technician license. I still am on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. I am doing a general class exam prep net where I go over and review the questions in the general class exam question pool on the Salt Lake Crossroads 2-meter repeater, 147.160, positive 600 megahertz offset, and a PL tone of 127.3 hertz. Feel free to get on if you need to review the questions, but we are running out of time, and the question pool is going to change here within the next few weeks. But after it does, I will keep on it, and I'll be there every Tuesday at 7 p.m., and I'll be happy to help you out with your general class exam.
Thank you. That's 600 kilohertz offset. That's true. The question pool is almost turning into a pumpkin, but you know what? Only about 10% of the questions are going to change anyway. So if you can get into the class, even if you're in the class over the transition, you'll be okay.
Just a quick question. James, do you know when the next exam is for general?
As the next testing session,
Yeah.
I believe Taylorsville session is coming up here within the next week or so.
Okay.
The last Monday usually of the month, and that's held at Taylorsville City Hall
Okay.
at 7 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to repeat that so it'll be on the recording?
Yes, for sure. Usually the next testing exam session would be Taylorsville's, I believe. They hold it on the last Monday of the month usually, and it runs from 7 to 9 at Taylorsville City Hall.
Right after field day.
That's right after field day. Okay, Rick, what do we have in the bookstore today?
Little dead air there, right? Well, it's pretty much the same thing as before. We do have some markdown items if you're physically here. And if you are interested in the new general license, they are on order. And if you would like to be notified of when they do come in before the next meeting, give me an email or call. It's on the website. So let me know. They should be here within a week. So I do have one 9th edition if one wants nostalgia and most of the questions.
Thanks, Rick. Does everybody know how to get to the UARC website? Was that a yes or no? It's on? Oh, it's on.
Try it again. Rick just talks really loud.
Okay, are we on? All right, that's better. Does everybody know how to get to the UARC website? Yeah,
UtahARC.org.
UtahARC.org. Or I always just type in UARC Google to Google, or UARC Utah in Google, and it gets me to it. All right. Well, you know what? It is June, and June is Field Day month. How many are going to Field Day? How many are coming to the UARC Field Day? Pretty good, okay. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Mike?
Thank you. Okay, up until this morning or yesterday, we were pretty much up in the air on exactly where we're going to hold Field Day. So I put. I didn't ask you to make jokes. You can do your comedy routine as soon as I'm finished.
No. People say we couldn't do this, and then it was looking around going, why?
Oh, well, you're going to find out here in just a moment. So, if you want to roll them, I'll explain.
Which one is it? There's two documents here.
Yeah, one of them is a Word document, and I don't want that. I've got it in front of me. The other one is a PowerPoint, and that's the one I want.
Okay. All right.
Pictures. Yeah. Oh, dim the lights. Oh, sure. Oh, you get that? All right, because I'm going to trip over this thing. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. Now I can't read my notes. By now, you've probably heard the road closures leading up to our preferred field day location at Payson Lakes is not in good shape. Next slide. You know, we can't argue with Mother Nature. She says that we're not going to be doing the field day up in Payson Lakes this year. It looks like we're not going to be doing it there. Next slide. So we accept what we cannot change and move on. Next slide. Thanks to help from Glenn Worthington over here, WA7X, we were able to find a good spot this year for this year's field day activities. We thank David Lyman, KF7BFU, for allowing us.
That's GFU.
GFU.
Not big FU.
Too many dits.
Okay, that's what I got in the email, so I put it on here. All right, GFU, Glenn, or Dave Lyman, KF7GFU. We now have a great location for field day out by Oak City. Next slide. The road leading to the site is well maintained. There should be no problem for us to get the cow and the calf into the site. There is plenty of room for your trailer or motorhome as well. I must warn you that in case of severe weather, the spot could be difficult to maneuver in. However, I have looked at the long-term weather report for that area, and it looks like it's going to be sunny into the weekend for field day. So we're looking at pretty good weather. And we will discuss the situation with, in case there is rain, the kind of ground that we're at will percolate fairly rapidly. So yesterday there was forecast for rain, and we got a few sprinkles, and that's the best that happened. So.
What's the temperature going to be?
We're getting to that. Okay, the temperature is going to be, I'm going to get to that in just a moment, as a matter of fact. Go ahead with the next slide. Okay, this location is around 130 miles. There it says 124 miles to Oak City, so it's not as close as was at Payson Lakes. However, it's not impossible to get there. 2-hour drive. It's a good location. Have a lot of fun over the weekend. 2-hour drive home, and that is not unreasonable. At least it's not way out in down by St. George. We will be sending maps. Did I say next slide? Yeah. Okay. We will be sending maps to UARC members by email. If you're not a member but would like to join our field day activities, send an email to me, ki7mti at arrl.net, and I will send the maps to you. We will also post signs at the places where you should turn so you won't get lost. And we'll also be monitoring the 2-meter, now I said the national calling frequency at 146.52, but that might be different. We'll talk about that a little later, in case you need help in locating the site. Next slide, please. Except during World War II, it has been, field day has been held on the last full weekend of June ever. Wait a minute, missed something here. Oh yeah, what is field day? The first field day event was organized by ARRL in 1933, and it's been held on the last weekend in June ever since then, except for World War II. Field day is a picnic, a camp out, a practice for emergencies, an informal contest, and most of all, it's fun. Field day gives new hams a way to get on the air under non-judgmental help of experienced hams, and non-hams can also experience the excitement of getting on HF and talking to a station hundreds or maybe thousands of miles away, just to see if the hobby might be something that they would like to pursue. Next slide, please. So, what should you expect if this is your first field day? Whether you've come just for the day or plan to camp overnight, don't be bashful. Let someone know that you are new to this experience. They can get you to someone who can help you find a spot to set up camp or help you get on the air. If you plan to stay just for the day, be sure to stay around for the potluck dinner. UARC provides the meat, and everything else generally everybody else generally brings a dish to share. If you didn't bring a dish, that's okay, since there's usually plenty of food to share. If you have the time, come out on Friday and or stay on Sunday. We'd welcome the help in setting up the equipment on Friday and tearing it down on Sunday afternoon. Next slide, please. Be sure to come prepared. Boy Scout model. You all were Boy Scouts, weren't you? Except a few ladies here. They might have been Girl Scouts. What was the Girl Scout model? Anybody know? I don't know either. Sell cookies. There you go. Thank you. Whether you're here for just the day or you plan to camp, proper preparation is important. Bring plenty of water. The extended forecast calls for temperatures in the high 70s to low 80s during the day. You can lose a lot of fluids even at those temperatures, so don't allow yourself to get dehydrated. Bring sunscreen and insect repellent. Summertime sun and summertime bugs, well, you know all about that. And also, bring a sweater or a jacket for the cool nighttime temperatures. The desert gets chilly once the sun sets. Don't let the evening chill spoil your experience. Finally, bring along a few snacks. UARC only hosts the potluck on Saturday evening. The rest of the meals are up to you. In case you've forgotten something, there are grocery stores and hardware stores in Delta, which is 14 miles away from where we'll be camped. Next slide, please. Okay, are there any questions that I might answer? Yes, Tom.
So when that map comes out, maybe we could get a pin to locate it, like a GPS pin?
Go back to slide number... I'll be sending you the map that I have. Yeah, oops, yeah, there. No, one more up. Yeah, right there. This map right here on the right side, I prepared that last night to show where the site is. I'll be sending that map out, and this one here, the Leamington, is basically, from how to get to Leamington from Nephi, straight road, but I have another map that explains how to make the turn at Leamington to get to Oak City as well. I didn't put that one on here. So all those maps will be sent.
Let's just do a quick overview of how to get there.
All right, I'll let you take over.
Yeah. So this is a really difficult site to find. If you've had trouble finding Payson Lakes, you will find that this site is only slightly less difficult. You will enter I-15 someplace of your choice in Salt Lake County. You will head south. The last gas you can get is Nephi. Take the second Nephi exit. There are 2 gas stations there, or you can go down to the 3rd exit and do the Flying J if that's your gas of choice. But you'll get on 132, which was on the previous slide, I believe, and that is the drag street right out of town coming off the 2nd exit. You will drive roughly 20 some odd miles, and you will come to Leamington. Yeah, about 28 miles. And Leamington is a tough corner to miss. Honest to God, just go past the charcoal domes, hang a left where it says Leamington. And it's a nice...
Hang a left where it says Oak City.
Well, it says Oak City and Leamington straight ahead, but it's right there and you hang a left. For those of you that know our remote site, it's in that neck of the woods. You'll go 12 miles down that road, which turns into Main Street of Oak City, a large going concern of a few houses and a very large LDS church. The LDS church is your friend. As soon as you see it, you go just past it and hang a left on Center Street. Nice big modern road sign that says Center Street. You will go 3 miles up the road on there, and you will see a sign which we showed earlier, and will be on the stuff that we'll send out to you, that says Dry Creek Road. You can't miss it. Nice big brown sign, Dry Creek Road, and an arrow. And just past the sign, there's the road. It's paved. You hang a right on that, and then you will go till you see our site. If for any reason you run out of pavement, you have gone too far, and you will find a very sketchy-looking Forest Service Jeep road, which Mike and I yesterday went up a little ways, and it gets sketchier as you go. So if you leave the pavement, you have fouled up these instructions. There is a nice Connex container on our side of the road. There's a lovely little vacation home across the street. You can't miss the place. And so if you see that Connex container, we will have a sign out there. There's the Dry Creek Road sign. Really, honestly, this is easier than Payson Lakes to find. Because I don't know about you, but the first time I followed our instructions, I ended up at the Payson Lake campground, and they had no idea who we were. And then I found the guard station and realized, oh, it's in the field clear over there. So it's much easier than that. So if you've ever found Payson Lakes, you will have no trouble finding this site. As for the weather, the daytime weather is very similar to what we're used to seeing in a normal year at Payson Lakes. Nighttime should probably be just a little milder. As for the mud, if it rains a lot, this can turn into clay. And what we have to do is stay put. Couple of hours, and then the ground is firm. If you insist on taking your, smart car or something like that and trying to come out of there in the rainstorm or immediately afterwards, all we will do is create a mire. And I charge a lot to use my Jeep to pull you out. So please, we won't tear up the place, but in a few hours, the ground would firm back up. And so that's just the nature of the desert in Utah. So that was how to get there. Okay.
Okay, do we have any questions, any comments here, any snide remarks or anything like that? Yes, Jed.
Originally, it said Thursday was the setup day. Is that now Friday?
No. Well, Thursday, we're going to meet up there at Thursday. Friday is when we can officially start at noon, I believe, on Friday. So, Thursday is just kind of getting things organized and everything, and that's when we were expecting for people on the board to get there. But Friday is when we'll be actually raising antennas and things along that sort. So, go ahead.
For those of you that are extra prepared or need a longer period of prepping for field day, there will be a UARC board member right now, unless plans change, on site on the 20th. However, if you show up on the 20th, or the 21st, or the 22nd, or all the way through Friday, we're going to need your help, and we're going to expect your help in doing all the things to set up. Which brings us to a couple of things that people haven't asked, the very, very important questions. No one asked, are there going to be potties? And the question has a really good answer, but it requires audience participation. So the potties are located in Benjamin. And they're going to need to be hauled from Benjamin to the site. And it requires a 2-inch ball. And then they'll need to be hauled back. So we need someone who is...
You might point out Benjamin's on the way.
Benjamin's on the way, and it'll be a lot easier to haul them from Benjamin a lot further to this place than it is to haul porta potties up the switchbacks to Payson Lakes. But we need some people who are willing to tote some stuff. What now?
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah. So there is no reserved campsites. It's first come, first serve. However, the UARC board will tell people where you can't set up, and you'll need to follow that. The other thing is, even though there are no reserved campsites, there is a landowner who is kind enough to let us use the property, and there is a club member who was able to twist the arm of said landowner for us to have this place. And they have reserved camping. You may not camp next to their power outlet. They will be camping there. And you may not use their power outlet.
But will you be setting up other power outlets?
Well, yeah, we'll be able to let more power go off to that. You have 50, 30.
Yeah. And there will be eventually power off of the cow and the calf for those people who really need power. For one, I'm one of those folks that has to sleep with the Darth Vader mask or whatever it is, or I die. And so, some of us may need to plug in, bring your own extension cords, those sorts of things. We will need to remind you that there is only one meal that UARC is going to have anything to do with. If you starve on your own, you're either driving to whatever is left operational in Delta or Nephi, which I believe is an Arby's and a few things like that.
Well, Delta does have some restaurants.
Yeah.
They also have a supermarket there.
But you're expected to bring your own food and a meal for the potluck, or not a meal, a dish for the potluck on Saturday night. This is a dry camp, so you will be bringing your own water. Yes?
Remember that if you're bringing a salad or anything with mayonnaise or something, please keep it on ice.
The porta potties only hold so much, and the doctor's a long ways away. So, if you are bringing perishable food, particularly things like salads with mayonnaise in them, or other dishes that are likely to spoil, for God's sake, safe handling of food. Put it in a cooler, keep it cold, all of those sorts of things, because nobody needs your ptomaine or salmonella. Okay, so let's see. The nearest gas and groceries is 28 miles away in Nephi, but that's closer to you if you're coming down and want to stop on the way, than Delta, that is 15 miles further. Okay? There are no chairs. There are no picnic tables. There are no tents. There is nothing provided for you, so whatever creature comforts you require, you will need to bring. There are no current fire circles or firewood on this property. And I don't believe the landowner would really like them, and it is to stick with our governor saying, we could have a really bad fire this year, so let's not. So I'm going to say no campfires.
Dave is going to check with the county.
Okay.
To see if fires could be permitted, but he is aware of that.
And so right now, unless you hear from a board member on site, there will be no fires. So if you're going to cook, that means you need to bring your white gas stove or your propane stove or all of that. We're not providing communal cooking space or anything like that. Yes, sir?
What about fires above ground? Like a portable fire pit?
Until we know for sure from the local fire marshal, I don't know, but I love my fire as much as any of the rest of you, and my s'mores making and the rest of that. But I think fires, until we have better information. I mean, we made a formal securing of the site yesterday evening, so there's some things we don't know. And so just assume there will be no fires. Yeah. And then we need to decide about a talk-in frequency. We have had a talk-in frequency in the past with nobody talking on either end. So show of hands about people who would like or want a talk-in frequency and would be likely to use it, and one of you needs to volunteer to man it on the other end.
I can do that second part.
Okay. How many people want to talk in frequency? Okay, so there's a handful of you. So I'm going to suggest that this gentleman is offered to man it. And that's so. If you all will gather at with this gentleman at the end and organize the talk-in frequency. This is a club, and if this is going to be a board camp out, honestly, we could be helping our president move his machine shop. So, you know, we really do need you guys to step up, and I don't mean to be mean about that, but this is our club, and we have to make field day go, and we're improvising. And like I say, it's further than some people want to go. It may be too hot or too cold for some people. It may be a lot of things, but this is where we're going to have field day. And we're going to have a lot of fun, but it's going to require all of you. I think that's my list of outstanding issues. There are trees. There used to be more trees, but there was a forest fire through there. And now on this particular property, there are trees. And then up on the hill are some gamble oaks, scrub oaks, right? And in my book, they don't count as trees. So no, there is no shade.
On the other side, there's an awful lot of sago lilies, so if you like sago lilies, we got a lot.
Yep.
You're talking to nobody.
I said on the other side of the coin, there's a lot of sago lilies, and so if you like sago lilies, there's abundance of those out there. They don't.
They really don't. There is one other natural or semi-natural hazard there, which, so Mike and I drove down there yesterday and walked the property and all of that. And so there is one other thing. This is a place where the chips may be down. And if you're not familiar with the song, the refrain is cow patty. Mike, when looking at sago lilies, occasionally found one. So there's not a lot of them. It's not.
That was a dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a dog. Okay. Well, anyway, there was some shoe scraping involved. So anyway, be aware of that. There were some cow patties and other things in the field, but it's not a big deal. This is actually a site very similar in a lot of ways to what we've had at Payson Lakes. Any other questions or concerns? Yes, sir.
We wouldn't expect to see any other traffic down there or any other campers, is that right?
I don't. So So the question is, will we see other campers or a lot of traffic? This is off of Center Street in Oak City. And I believe at one time Oak City was what we would call a going concern. It's very much less so. And I believe if the LDS Church was not in town, it might not be a going concern. So I'm not assuming that the traffic will be huge. And like I say, if you get on the Forest Service Road, there's a little parking lot where the gravel ends. And if you get on that Forest Service Road, it's a real Jeep road. So.
The end of this, does it turn into a bad road?
Oh, half a mile maybe. Okay. So I mean, you got to if you end up in the end of the road and it says Forest Service and the road starts to look like you might want to put it in 4-wheel drive, it doesn't look really damaging until you get around the corner. I'll just put it to you that way. And then once around the corner, you're committed. So yeah, stay on the pavement. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So in view of the tree situation, are you looking for masts, towers, anything like that?
So at this point, we have the 80-foot mast off tower off of the cow. We have a 40-foot tower off of the calf, provided we get it down there. And that's an upcoming question for the board who's going to come up and talk about things we need done. And then Marv has graciously stated that he has a third tower, And then if we get really excited, I could back my Jeep up one of the hills, and we can pull a winch cable out about 20 feet, and we would be up 25 feet or more on one end of a dipole. So we can probably get 2 or 3 wires up in there using the towers that we have. But this is going to be a real field day, in the sense that we've gotten a little complacent about, we know where exactly to park the cow and exactly where the calf goes and what couple of big pine trees to fire the spud gun over. And so we've gotten pretty...
We haven't used trees for years.
It's been, what, 3 years, 4 years?
We haven't used trees at Payson Lakes for years because we can't get to them.
Yeah. I think I was one of the last tree shooters. But anyway, we don't have any trees, but we will be improvising where everything goes. This will be a real field day. We could also, we have 2 cabin tents that belong to the club. We could use a couple of more big cabin tents, preferably one that's a little darker in the inside, which allows people to read the computer screens a little better. So we really do need, if you have resources, if you can come down early, if you can help tote something down, it would be most useful. And then we're going to need people to hang around Sunday afternoon and possibly Monday morning to tote stuff back. And, at Payson Lakes, the last time I was at Payson Lakes and camped, I made, 3 round trips to Salt Lake and 1 trip for oil to Payson for the generator. And so, I'd rather not make 47 trips to Salt Lake from down here. So we really do need people who are willing to step up. And with that, Marv, I think it's your turn to convene the board for help. Yes, sir.
How has that up live? Look at the site elevation compared to the valley and how it's really kind of optimal.
The elevation of the site is 5,600, so it's 5 degrees cooler than the Salt Lake Valley off the bat.
Yeah, it was very pleasant down there, and it wasn't that pleasant yesterday in the valley from my recollection of things. And the other thing is, if you look off out of 3 directions, we are up above the West Desert and have just a wide opening from more or less south to more or less north. Towards the east is a decent-sized mountain, but we've got enough space off of it that the takeoff looks pretty good.
Right at the bottom there, that's the beginning of that main road past the building. Down the bottom, there's the beginning of the...
So you're talking about right here. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the dirt road begins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you end up on the dirt road, you deserve to be there. It is, and I will have zero sympathy for you. And I belong to Winches with Winches, and we know how to rescue people and recover things, and I will have no sympathy. I will just laugh because you cannot miss this place. This is, as far as finding the place, getting in and out, this is a lovely location. And it's private property, so I don't anticipate anybody really getting lost. I mean, I think you're going to have to work at it, but, we have search and rescue in Utah because people get lost. And so it could happen to somebody in our club, but we will never speak of it again if it happens.
Okay, thanks, guys. Everybody know what we're talking about when we talk about the cow and the calf? You know what they are? COW is an abbreviation for Communications on Wheels. It is a trailer with an 80-foot crank-up tower and a beam. So we're talking about a world-class station here. The calf is exactly the same thing, except it's only a 40-foot tower. So both of those are going to be there. Okay, you're going to be on HF, so you have to have a general or higher license, right? No, you don't. You have to have a license at all? No, you don't. Therefore, I have an assignment for those of you who are thinking about coming down. Find somebody to bring with you who is either not a ham and hopefully has maybe a little spark of interest in ham radio, or is a technician class person who is afraid to get on the air on HF, because we are going to help them do so. Okay? Something else I want to talk about, all right? I was asked to be the president of this club. You guys elected me, but it is not my club, okay? It is run by the board. We have some good people on the board right now, but we need to know what you people want out of this club. You know, we were talking earlier before, actually at the meeting before the meeting, and then after we got here, if we go to all this work to go down there and set up this thing just for four board members to show up and play on, then it's kind of a waste of time for us. We would like to see a huge number of people down there. These stations that we set up down there are silent most of the time because we don't have enough people.
Highly competent stations.
Yes, they are highly competent stations. So, you know, find somebody to bring with you. That would be good. We don't care if they're members of the club or not. We don't care if they're members of some other club. If they want to come down, we want to have them.
Remind, if they don't know how to do something, that's all the more reason to come down.
That's right. Clint says if they don't know how to do something, that's all the more reason to come down. Okay, another thing that I need to mention is our July activity, which is steak fry. Steak fry takes place up in the canyon at the Spruces. It will be on the website. It is. It's there already. Yeah, it's always there.
Even the way to pay is on there.
Even the way to pay for it. Woo, what more could you ask for, right?
And it's still $15.
And it's still $15. Where can you get a steak dinner for $15?
Catered steak dinner. You have to walk to.
Okay, I think it's on the 15th, is that right, Clint? Yep, on the 15th of July. So remember that. We want to see you all up there as well. What else do we need to talk about?
Mark, do we have someone committed to toting the cow and the calf down?
I am not aware that we do.
Brett plans to be able to tow the cow.
Okay.
Oh, wait, but by the way, did you see the email I sent earlier?
Which one?
About retrofitting the cow with electric brakes?
Yeah.
You want to spend $2,900? I sure don't want to do it. I don't want to do it the work myself.
I could very easily do it, but I don't have time, and I'm getting old. So I think $2,900 is a bargain.
Yes.
So, I hate to do this. I'm not on the board. Do we have an acclamation for the board? Just go ahead and give the guy the money and pay $2,900 to club money to. So the problem is we have the 10,000-pound trailer with surge brakes. So do you see the problem coming down a steep canyon? So we're wanting to get it retrofitted with electric brakes, and we have it at a place, and everybody's about the same price. It'll be about $2,900 to make it modern. And so it won't be a deadly missile going down the road. So the board people.
Okay, board members. Okay, anybody who does not want to spend $2,900 to make the cow at least halfway safe? Okay, we're going to do it.
All
there
right.
you go.
All right.
Thanks, Clint.
I didn't mean to hijack, but this is the time to get.
No.
We have 2 or 3 outstanding tow needs. We'll need someone to tow the calf then. The calf weighs about half what, am I right?
No,
It's less than that, I would say.
it's about 3,500.
About 3,500 pounds, 2-inch hitch, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's in Payson.
And it's in, yeah, and so we need someone to tow that down. We need someone by the end of the meeting to commit to being the porta potty deliverer.
Well, we also need you have a trailer we can use.
So we're using my trailer.
Does that have size on it?
It doesn't have, it has 12-inch or
No.
size on it.
That's going to be tough.
Okay, hold it for a second. For the sake of the people who are not here in this room right now, what we are discussing is we need 3 people to commit to towing equipment down there. We need 4? 4. Okay, so we need somebody to tow the cow, somebody to tow the calf, somebody to tow the porta potties.
And we need somebody to tow the trailer that has the radios and
Right.
tents and stuff.
Yes, yeah, and somebody to tow the trailer that has all the equipment on it.
I can tow one of those.
Okay, so we need at least 3. Yes.
I can tow one. I can't do the cat, but I can do one of the.
One of the smaller ones?
Can you do
Okay.
potties? So you'd have to pick them up and get them back to the people, okay. And I'm not sure whether we can get them back on Sunday, it might be Monday morning.
Well, they just drop them off in the yard on Sunday.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got someone.
Okay.
Here's our trap before.
Okay.
And somebody with your name and contact information if you're saying, I will do this, so.
We actually have the sign up on the UARC website.
Yeah, but we want it tonight written down, we'll get it up there.
Okay, anybody else willing to take a shot at towing some of this stuff down?
Yeah, what's left?
The cow and the calf.
Can't help with those.
Okay, and the Jerry,
Yes,
are you going to tow your trailer?
I would be glad to tow my trailer.
Okay, so the only 2 we need to find tow people for then are the cow and the calf. Is that right?
I can tow the calf. I need, well, I can tow the calf. I've done it before.
Okay, so we need somebody to tow the cow. Going once, going twice. Don't everybody jump at once. That's Brett's going to do that?
That's what I thought,
Okay.
Clint said, who's towing the cow, Brent? Clint?
Brett Sutherland.
He has a 1 ton.
Okay, so Brett Sutherland got the, okay. And the calf, you've got?
Well, the calf and the cow are at Camp Eagledale in Payson.
Yeah, but you're gonna bring the calf down.
I can do that, yes.
Okay, so Clint, you've got that, and then I can bring my, like, I've got a 10-foot utility trailer. It's not enclosed, but we can load pretty high on it.
Okay, yeah, all right.
And if it doesn't work, then we'll make a decision Thursday night as a board.
Okay, now, we have borrowed Lonnie's trailer in the past in tents. I know Lonnie's not in good health these days.
Yeah.
We could ask him about the tents. The problem with those tents that he has is they're harder than hell in the sun.
Well,
Which is the problem at Payson Lakes.
and this was part of where we wanted to go with the meeting is, what are the outstanding pieces? We have 2 cabin tents according to Chuck.
There's more than I can repeat here.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, if you would put it down there, Susan. So where we're on the meeting now is there's a few long poles in our tents, including maybe not enough tents that we need to get. So we've got someone committed to all of the towing of things. We have, according to our treasurer, 2 good canvas cabin tents that we have used a lot to set up. And we could use a couple of more big cabin tents that we could put a 5 or 6 foot table in. And yeah, well, and then the other thing is if some folks have some fans that can run that they want to bring down, that would be good. You know, and in your own campsite, if you've got a battery-operated mister or whatever, you may want it. But we could use stuff that people have. The main things was getting stuff down there. But if we could find a couple of tents, that would help us for storage. If somebody wants to tote my trailer with all the gear on it, then I will go down tomorrow or Monday to Durango and pick up new teepee poles, and I will bring a teepee, an 18-foot teepee, which we can use. But I got to go to Durango to get new poles, and I'm not going to go tote everything down, then go to Durango, then come all the way back to Salt Lake to take the new poles back down. So we've got some tents, but we either need toters or we need some folks with some some tents, so we have some store tents and we have some working tents. Glenn?
Yeah, give me the mic. I think I have a couple of solutions here for you.
This is how I get my exercise. This is how I keep my girlish figure.
There you go. So I spoke with Dave Lyman today, and Dave runs a company, it's a communication company, and he has a number of cargo trailers. Most of them are in Oak City. So the thought occurs to me, and he said we can use them. He does have one or two here that may be more convenient to haul the equipment down. But thinking about it, a cargo trailer might not be too bad of a shack or a substitute for a tent, and it would have aluminized, or white reflecting. It would be cooler, and you put your fans in there. I absolutely have no doubt that because he says, yeah, I've got a bunch down there, so that's an idea.
That sounds like manna from heaven from my point of view.
Yeah, it just dawned on me. And by the way, it was Janet that came up with the idea for Dave's property. So, yeah, give her the. So, absolutely. And then the other thing I'm going to throw out is Dave's daughter and husband and child live in Oak City. She wants to become a ham radio operator. She asked him about it today. So, we'll have her as a guest.
We will put her on the air.
Absolutely. So, this is great. So, I can. You don't have to set up. You don't have to take down. They're right there in the city. We grab them, use them as you need some chairs and maybe some card tables or those kinds of things, and away you go. And you're protected from the elements, and life is good. So.
Are we missing anything else?
Thank you.
Do we have 3Ds there? Could we sign up?
Yeah.
If we could do a test, I know that there's at least one other person who would be willing to take a test that day.
Okay, it's been stated that it would be good to do a test session at Field Day. We absolutely can do that. I don't think we will do it, however, unless people say they need to have one. So, anybody who wants to do a test session? Hey, we were talking about a test session, weren't we? All right, hey. It's just getting better, isn't it?
So we've got enough VEs. I don't know who we have. And again, Chuck is not able to be here tonight. He's
right.
doing family stuff. But Chuck is the one with probably the most knowledge of what we used to do. And so if we can get the testing materials together and things like that, please reach out to, let's make Mike the reach out, because he's the reach out for the classes. And we'll see if there's enough of you that want to do a test. We will try to put one together with no promise.
I personally would suggest if there's one person that wants to do a test, we should do the test.
Well, if we can,
if we can get the materials together, yeah, okay.
We haven't done it in person.
I know. We should bring you back down here, Jerry. I will also say I have worked from a cargo trailer, and it worked out really well. And as Glenn has said, it's pretty comfortable.
I'm good.
You're done?
I'm done.
What did I come up here for?
Exercise.
It's part of the wellness program for the senior
Yes, that's right.
director of the club.
Yeah, it's also cooler up there because the altitude's higher. Okay, guys, what else do we have? Have we beat this cow to death?
A request to show of hands for people that are coming to Field Day.
Okay. Okay, how about the maybes? Okay, I want to get those maybe hands up higher. Yeah. Okay.
I need a count for how much to buy.
Okay, do you want to? Let's do it again. He's going to count you. Those who are committed to coming right now at this moment.
Barbecue.
But we're bringing extra.
Okay, how many extra?
I'm going to be at least
9? Great.
Yeah, I'm going to be.
So she's 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 24, 20, what's that, 28? Okay, 28 so far, and that's 5? That's 1? Okay, 29, 31. Who have I missed? Oh, me, 32.
So
Yeah.
just point out, see up there on the UARC page?
Yeah.
The sign-up sheet.
Okay, Clint is showing you on the screen right now the sign-up sheet. Please sign up.
It's not mandatory to do it.
Yes, if you have a brain fade and you forget to sign up, that won't stop you from coming. It will just be nice if you tell us so we know how much food to have.
So people are
Okay.
going to be there before Thursday?
You don't have to be, but anybody who can come down and help us set up.
Chuck was planning to be down there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I may come down as early as Tuesday and commute back and forth.
I'll see if I can come down earlier. I plan to be there Thursday, but I may see if I can get down there Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, what's going to happen between Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon?
I don't know. Hang out.
Anything that we
Get
can
yourself
get
set up.
done.
I mean, we can't officially set anything up until, move stuff around until Thursday afternoon, I believe. Okay, yeah, we can't officially do anything until start on Thursday at noon, and we can only spend 24 hours doing it. That's the way the rules are. But we can figure out where things are supposed to go anytime we like. So, I mean...
We can put the trailers down where they're going to be.
Yeah, we can plop...
There's plenty to do.
We can plop trailers down. We can figure out where cordon off areas where people want to go and all that stuff. And, just figure things out in general.
And bring your work gloves. We will put if you get there early, we will find things.
Yeah, I mean, so I always, people get into amateur radio for emergency communications. Some are preppers, they want to do things if bad things happen, something hits a fan, for example. But this is, field day is an absolute great reason to come down to do something because that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually do it. And if you don't know how to do it, that's even better reason to come down because when you get done, we'll put you to work. You'll know what it is, what side of a radio is up, what side of the soldering iron to grab hold of if we need some. And we probably will because inevitably something doesn't work right. But you learn more by screwing up and then finding out what you did than you did if it all went perfectly. So.
If you don't know how to program your radio and you show up earlier,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be a lot easier for one of us to take some time, or if there's a question you want to learn something about from somebody in the club, you want to come early because once we hit the field day startup, there's, 18 people that have to put up the manual power so that we ensure we don't lose one finger off of somebody. So to repeat for everybody, come early if you want your radio programmed, if you want to talk to Clint about how amazing technologies work. You want to know how the repeaters work or anything like that, because he's going to be busy, and all of us are going to be busy. And it's not that we won't talk to you, but we'll be setting up field day and trying to man stations and things like that. So if you really want to learn things, show up, help people put things up. And by the way, just as a reach out to the women, you have a higher pitched voice, and on field day, that means you are an incredible target. So you will get a lot more contacts than the people talking down like this. So honestly, show up. Okay?
You're a magnet.
You really will. And Frances, if those of you that know my spouse, she made, I think, 100 contacts in, an hour and a half, I think it was, at one of the field days.
and didn't have a license, went and got a technician license. So ladies, please come out, bring your ladies out. And I did want to note Glenn's comment that the YL was behind this, or we wouldn't be going. So that's important.
Thank you.
If we do a test, what day? What day? Well, only day would be Saturday. Saturday? That's the only possibility.
It would probably be Saturday after the potluck or something like that. I mean, we'll try to put something together. It won't be Friday and it won't be Sunday.
Okay. Test on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday after about 2 p.m. stations are running and people are more available, or they're drop dead from exhaustion.
Or it's going to be after the potluck or something. Again, we have not done a live in-person test in what, 3 years?
At least.
So, we're a little rusty, and the main tester is no longer with us, but we will get out the seance equipment and see what we can do to put one together.
Incidentally, if there is somebody who wants to go who does not have a way to get down there, contact us and we'll see if we can find you a ride.
And make sure you find out whether you want to stay overnight or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, also unaccompanied minors, they need a parent.
Yes, unaccompanied minors need to be not unaccompanied. They need a parent. Mike?
Yes, we get extra points if we get some news coverage. Would it be something that the club would want to do to get something in whatever the local newspaper in Delta?
Okay, Mike is saying that we get extra points if there's some new coverage, and so should we try and get some?
100 points. The section is going to be putting out a news release, hopefully listing all of the clubs in the state who are hosting field days, and this will be going out broadly to the press. I don't know how that works in terms of club points.
Well, I'm talking about specifically Delta, who probably might not get...
There is no news in Delta. Come on down for a minute.
As far as I understand, some of the extra points that can be done is satellite contacts, served agencies. Yeah, that's the name. So police or fire or Forest Service shows up, that counts for an extra 100 points. There's a bulletin that comes out on Saturday in Morse code, and Chuck usually picks that up, the extra 100 points. There's, some other stuff.
You just do a phone digital
Well, somebody brings digital, maybe.
Yeah, if somebody brings a digital setup, then we can do digital.
We don't normally do it because digital for the slow times, because you cannot, okay, sorry. I guess I'm trying to be on camera. Digital, you cannot make nearly as many phone contacts as you can on phone or CW with digital, but often we have a spare station that isn't doing anything else otherwise. So if it's laying fallow, digital is great. I mean, you want to bring it? The one gotcha is that you can't use the 7300 when there's another station on the same band at the same location. So you'll have to pick a band that we're not already operating on phone. But we have more choices of bands these days, since 10 and 15 meters are likely to be open. Murphy says they won't be, but they're likely to be open. And that's a big change from the past couple of years, because those bands have generally been dead. So if you want to bring digital, knock yourself out. Well, don't knock yourself out, because Delta is 15 miles away and I don't know where the ER is. So anyway.
There are a ton of extra points available for all kinds of things. So if Ted Cowan agrees to show up, I may get out my satellite gear and his satellite gear, and we can make one satellite contact for a whole bunch of points. So do look at the last, I think it's the last edition of QST or the one before that. All the rules are there. If you have a way to garner points, come talk to us, and we'll take the points. But again, it's our club. So, you know, if somebody wants to set up a radio and we get the landowner's daughter on the radio, we can claim 100 points for, I think it's 100 points for a GOTA station. We haven't had one of those in a long time. So by all means, we would love to get points. I want to take a moment and put my ARRL hat on. As most of you know, I'm one of the assistant section managers for the Utah section. Scott, when we were talking about the press release coming out and things like that, Scott is the new PIC and has several PIOs. So that is the Public Information Coordinator, and the PIOs are the public information officers in the section, and Scott is graciously leading that. His background is he's been a former mayor, he's done a lot with the Rotary Club and things like that, and so Scott is a member of our club, and those of you that don't know his call sign, and I had to look because I forgot, K7HSR, and so that's what Scott's doing, and so you have a couple of field officers in ARRL in the club.
Question, Glenn.
Yes. Going back to the BE session, is there a requirement to publish it ahead of time?
Repeat the question.
So the question was, to have a testing session, do we have to publish it or announce it? And again, I'm going to go back to the idea of none of us can remember because it's been a while. And so what we will do is figure all of that out, and if we can, we will, and if we can't, we won't. Yeah.
Okay, the moment that we are set up to do the test session, we will announce that on the website, so it will be announced anyway. Okay? What else, guys? There's another pound.
Just a procedural thing. I get the board plans to meet next week at Ron's to dry run the equipment.
Yep, we're gonna.
There was a damage to one of the beam antennas on the, I think it was the one on the calf that we had to get some parts for. So and I think Chuck might have taken the action on that. Just kind of a reminder from what happened last year in the lessons learned.
They've bent the reflector on that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's saying that there was some damage to the antenna on the cow, and
Chuck bought new elements.
yeah, the parts are. Has he gotten them? Do you know?
He has them, but
okay.
I think there's no point. I think it's just sawing the length or sliding them in.
Right, and we'll do that when we on site or next week.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, no, it has to be on site because the antenna's in Payson.
Okay, good. Thanks for that. Okay, anything else?
What time's the potluck on Saturday?
What time we're going to do the potluck?
Usually it's 5-ish.
5-ish?
Yeah, I mean 5-ish, 6-ish. I mean, when do you, is that right?
Yeah,
5-ish?
5:30.
Yeah, call it 5:30. I mean, it takes a while to cook everything, so if you get,
I'll be doing all kinds of cooking all afternoon.
Yeah, and it's not, this works not on UTC time or even Mountain Daylight time. We are on Ute land, and this runs on Indian time, which is plus or minus a couple of hours. So please understand that if the chicken takes longer or whatever else, we're going to eat when we get there. So for those of you that are on the fence about coming, for God's sake, get in your car and come on down. Get there at least midday on Saturday. Stay till after dark. There's nothing worthwhile going on in Salt Lake. Absolutely nothing worthwhile going on in Salt Lake County as a whole. There is no place to be but UARC Field Day. Honest to gosh, last year I couldn't come to UARC Field Day because I went to field days all over Northern Virginia. And I'm going to... Well, it was kind of cool. Some people eat a lot better than we do. The Vienna Amateur Radio Society, which holds like 4 or 5 FCC officials, a couple of congressmen, they're a little wealthy. They have 2 little rinky-dink antennas up in the air, but oh my God, they had good food. And it was all catered and lovely stuff, smoked salmon and, okay.
That's enough.
But nobody has, honestly, for a field day, I've been to field days all over, people would kill for the opportunity just to have our calf or just to have our cow. And more than that, they would kill to have the kind of expertise in the stations that we're setting up and the people operating them. And I really mean that. And like I say, I last year I hit 15 field days. The year before that, I hit every field day in Utah. And so I know what's out there, and this is the premier setup. Some people might have better food, they might have other things, but I will tell you this is the opportunity to operate a big gun type station compared to what most of us can put together. So please, do come.
Okay, I wasn't going to say anything. Those of you who said maybe, I'm talking to you. I got my ticket about a week before field day last year. I had never been on the air. I went down to field day, and just for Saturday, just for the day, and I was on the air that day. I sat with another operator. I watched him operate. I actually took notes as to, the call signs. I was entering the contacts into the computer. Like that. Huh? That's called logging. I did the logging, and after, I don't know, half an hour or so, he handed me the microphone. He said, "Your turn." I was nervous as hell. But I made my first contacts at field day last year.
So
it's worth it even just for the day.
So less than a year later, how many countries have you hit on my G5RV Junior antenna?
From my QTH, I have logged 95 countries on FT8.
In like 9 months.
With a wire dipole strung between 2 trees in front of my house. What else is there? Okay. Well, I need 5 more. But now, the other thing I'm going to ask, and again, I'm putting now my public information hat on. All of you who go, please take pictures and please submit them. Okay, we want to get some press before and after the event. We need pictures, not just of people sitting around the campfire or around the grill or whatever it is. Please take pictures of people sitting at the radio and making contacts and logging contacts. Thank you very much. Hope to see you there.
Hey, Jerry, you said nothing's going on in Salt Lake City. I heard they're emptying sandbags.
I think, that almost causes me not to want to go to field day. But I will stand by my pronouncement that there is nothing, well, let's just say there's nothing worthy or moral going on in Salt Lake City on field day. So please come and bring a friend.
Yeah, Glenn said there is something going on in Salt Lake that weekend. They're going to be emptying sandbags.
Isn't that a bit premature?
I don't know, maybe. Actually, there are no more flooding warnings for the state. They announced that just today. Okay, anything else? All right, I think that about wraps it up then.
Drawing thing.
Oh, the drawing thing.
Were things handed out, or were they collected, or ask James?
Yeah, James is coming up.
Okay. Let him do it.
Yeah, since he forgot to bring the tub.
Yeah, I forgot to bring the tub. My bad. All right. So how many people do I draw? 8. All right. So I'll go ahead and draw out 8.
You have 9 in there, right?
I have a few in there.
You want to put one in quickly? So you can bat, you have another, if you...
Tom, can you bring me down a pen and a scrap piece of paper from right there?
Everybody who wants to scribble on a piece of paper. Meanwhile, Margaret will map for a second.
Or not.
Well, let's see here.
Right there. On this side, you see it.
And the pen, Tom.
I got a pen.
Sure, anybody else that needs a ticket, come on up.
There's a scrap.
Perfect, thanks. Oh, no, you're fine. I passed over you. I apologize. I already got you one, Tom. Oh, thanks. All right, anybody else?
Anybody else? All right, go for it.
All right.
Okay, in no particular order. KF7OZ, is it an R or a K? K? K7HSR, Scott? N7OVG? K, is that an I or a T?
KI7MTI.
KI7 KMZ? Linda, N7HVF. How many is that? 5. WA7ZRG.
KK7JEV.
KK7JEV. I'm glad you're here. Isaac, KE7RWP.
That should be 8, right?
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. Okay. That's it. It's in the can.